Okay, so we're live. Welcome to BWTN Sports Gaming. We're going to be talking about Canelo, the free agent, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, he is free at last. So Canelo is now a free agent. Golden Boy and DAZN no longer have their hands on Canelo. This is old news for us. Yes, us at BWTN Sports is old news. You know how old this news is? You see, sometimes I question and wonder if people actually listen to our interviews. If you go back and listen to our interview with Derrick James, the last interview, we asked Derrick James about the possibility. This was before the Charlos fought against the double header. It was a week before that. I spoke to Derrick James, and the question I asked him was about Canelo and Spence, and he said to me, well, you just have to wait and see. And at that point, I knew that Canelo would be leaving Golden Boy and DAZN. And because I was thinking about a fight between Canelo and Spence, it'd been spoken about before. It kind of all went quiet, and now that fight, after if Spence can get past Danny Garcia, it seemed to me that Canelo versus Spence was the next fight to make. That's what it sounded like to me. And that PBC and Canelo will be working together. That's what it sounded to me when Derrick James did the interview. So all this news that's coming out now about Canelo being a free agent, and I talk to you people and say, nah, it's not possible. He'll re-sign with DAZN. He'll re-sign with Golden Boy. That was never going to happen. That was never going to happen. So now, congratulations to Canelo. He was too good for them. I personally think that Canelo was too good for them. They didn't realize how good a product they had in Canelo. And you know, Canelo's one of the few fighters that you can call old school. Doesn't do a whole heap of talking. Isn't on social media every 5 minutes talking about how they're going to bring this person smoke and they're going to do this to that person. They're going to knock this person out, or talk about other people's mothers, or disrespectful. Canelo does his talking in the ring. Real old school throwback fighter. Always in the gym. You don't hear about Canelo anymore. You don't hear about Canelo in situations where he's getting himself in trouble with the police and stuff like that. He's your professional boxer and he's professional what he does. I think Canelo, he's a throwback fighter for me. I know people say, well, he ducked this person, he ducked that person, he fight this person, he fight that person. But I think that's more Oscar De La Hoya. I think that's more to do with Oscar De La Hoya and DAZN. And you see the sort of fights they generally put on. And I think that, for me, Canelo being a free agent now, we'll see what sort of fighter Canelo really is. Looking at the type of opposition he does from now on. Because if he was blaming DAZN for the poor quality of opponents or why he wasn't getting fights. Now, there are no excuses. You're a free agent. You're basically free to do what you want. So your next fight you sign by the end of the year, who will it be against? It'll be interesting to see what Canelo does next. Who he fights next will be telling. Will he go and fight Murat? There were stories about him going to fight Murat. There was stories about him going to fight that guy that Chris Eubank knocked out down when he was in the super middleweight tournament. There was him. There's talks of Billy Joe Saunders. There was talk about Callum Smith. Don't know. Canelo's been out a while, so is he gonna have a gimme fight? Maybe he will. But I'm glad. I'm so glad that he's left DAZN. And I'm so glad. I would love to see him at PBC. I'd love to see him sign for PBC. But he might say to him, you know what? I've got so much money now. Why do I have to tie myself down to a contract? Let's see how it works for Canelo. He could start a trend here, being a free agent. Does that mean that TV deals, he could jump between one deal and another deal? Like for one fight only? Pay as you go? Could Canelo become a pay as you go champion? Never mind pay-per-view. Could he be a pay as you go champion? Like, you're not signed to anyone in particular, so like, maybe one time you'll fight on Top Rank, ESPN. Next fight you'll be on PBC, on Fox News or Fox Sports fighting, or next time you could be fighting on Showtime, you should champion your fight anyway. You're fighting on the TV's network because you're a free agent. That'll be very interesting to see what Canelo does with this. You know, he's got so much money, and I don't know the ins and outs of the contract. I didn't read into it that much, but like I said before, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, Canelo is free at last. So where does that leave DAZN? Or may I say, dead zone? I mean, they've got a bunch of guys that dead zone, to be fair, for the most of them. And this is not disrespectful, that lack personality. They lack personality because half of them can't speak English, or some of them can't speak English and not willing to speak English. Okay, so it'll be very interesting to see what he does, what Canelo does, what DAZN do. But coming back to Canelo, you never know. Canelo may end up doing. He may listen to his mentor when Floyd was talking to him. He may go back and seek Floyd out and ask Floyd for some advice. I mean, they didn't do too bad with Floyd. You know what I mean? I wonder if he'd work with Leonard Ellerby and Al Heyman. Would he do that? Canelo versus Plant December 19th. That's a damn good fight. That's a damn good fight. I think that Canelo wins it, though. I just think that Plant needs more fights. Plant needs more fights. Plant's a damn good fighter. But if that is the fight, it's a great fight to have for Canelo because it's the right time to fight Plant because he's early his career. That's a good fight. That's not a gimme fight, but it's a good fight. I think you're looking at their Canelo's overall experience, fighting a better opposition regularly, knows what it is to be a champion, you know. So I would back Canelo in that fight, but a good fight still though. But I was saying to Dead Zone, I mean, how many fighters have you got on that network that you would call superstars? One, superstars, right? And I still don't consider Anthony Joshua a superstar. The crossover fight he was meant to have when he came to America, that would have taken him to superstardom had he knocked out Andy Ruiz. So I don't know if you can call him a superstar. He hasn't crossed over to America and been a success. I don't care if you put him in FIFA, in UFC 4, and he's still not a crossover superstar for me. So, and I actually would like to see Canelo fight in the UK, to be honest. I would like to see that as well. So, I got this one completely wrong, Ingram. I know. I was trying to tell you. And you should have, when I kept saying it to you, listen to the interview. Derrick James was on the show live. This is what I don't understand. You've got an expert. You've got a professional trainer who's in the know, right? His fighter's a PBC fighter. You think he doesn't know? He can't come out and say, yeah, this is what's going to happen for Canelo. So he's got to speak between the lines. So sometimes I wonder when people listen to interviews, whether you actually listen to interviews or you listen to personalities. Because if you listen to the interview, there's a wealth of knowledge there telling us exactly what was going to happen. So this is of no surprise. So moving on, I've got Canelo up there because I am a fan of Canelo. I like how Canelo conducts his business, and I like it. So you say what you want, you cherry picker, this and that. His CV is pretty impressive. So let's move on. Golovkin, the great Golovkin. Jonathan Banks' trainer is basically saying he needs to change his style or he needs to retire. See, the problem with Golovkin is this. He's had such easy opposition, yeah, early in his career, that now, late on in his career, he's going to have to fight some fights. Now, DAZN going to want their money because of now they've lost Canelo. Golovkin's going to have to be the guy that steps up. And at 37 years old, why did they give Golovkin a £300 million deal or dollar deal? Why? Or I don't know, I think it's $300 million the deal was worth. Golovkin was like 35 at the time. And I just knew those people that gave him that money don't know a hell about boxing. They don't know about boxing. And you look at the makeup of the guys that joined DAZN in the beginning, and their fans were like, "Yeah, DAZN signed this person, DAZN signed that person," and it was like You know when you get a lot of money on FIFA, like you get a lot of money on FIFA or on Football Manager, you get a sugar daddy, you get like 500 million, and then you just start splashing it and buying whoever, and you just don't care. That's what happened. They got a whole load of money, and they just started buying fighters like fanboys, but not really thinking about marketability. Didn't think about, you know, you've got a lot of these guys that are either like Eastern European. That's not disrespectful. You got a whole lot of Eastern European fighters that don't speak very good English, right? So you've got a problem there in translation. You can kind of get away with a bit with Canelo because he was built before he got to DAZN. For a lot of them, though, they're building their careers on a network, and a lot of them only speak English. So that's a problem right there. So if I'm DAZN, I'm like, these guys are gonna have to go to school. Not being funny, these boxers are gonna have to go to school and learn to speak good English. You know what I mean? Because these guys, you're gonna grow these guys. You know, they're your future. So they need to, these guys who want to sit down and not be able to speak in English, they need to get it sorted. I mean, what? You got Usyk. Okay, fine. Where's that going? I mean, his performance wasn't, it's another performance he wasn't great in. So this is been a while of Usyk. Canelo's gone. Golovkin got beat, as far as I'm concerned, by Derrick. What's going on? Danny, glad to be here, Jacobs. Then you got the big heavyweight threat in Hercules, who fought Booker. I don't know who booked him for a fight because he didn't come to win. And what sort of, that's not good. Anytime you put fights on like that, Riddell Booker versus Philip Hercules. Hercules is a good, talented fighter. Don't get me wrong, but don't now tell me he's the best heavyweight in the world or he's one of the best heavyweights in the world where he's fighting that caliber of garbage. Unacceptable, totally unacceptable, and it's hurting Hercules more than it's doing him any favors, because what ends up happening is that guys at Hercules, they fight these guys at Riddell Booker, and they say they want a step up fight. They said we want better opposition, and then when you get better opposition, you get your head ripped off. You know why? Because you haven't prepared for it. You've just been feeding on stiffs. So when you actually fight somebody who actually has more than a heartbeat and looking to fill you in, you malfunction because you haven't done the right things. You haven't built your career in the right way. And Hercules, his opposition have been dreadful, to be honest. So he needs to step up. And, you know, if you want him to step up, then you're going to have to pay money for him to step up. I don't know. People are just looking for another savior. They don't want Joshua and they don't want Fury, so they try to look for somebody else as Hercules. Don't know. Hercules is okay, but I'd like to see Hercules and Joe Joyce fight again. I'd definitely like to see that. Hercules called that Hunter. Hercules put one himself. Hercules is too stiff. Hercules should get beat up by Hunter if he's not careful, or he'll look bad. You notice how Michael Hunter's doing all that talking now? Have you seen how Michael Hunter's talking now with all that passion and stuff? You notice? Before he just, you know, when he did interview, he was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to fight this person. He couldn't open his mouth. Now Hunter's opened up his mouth and talking. Have you noticed now how Michael Hunter's changed his tune and talking up now? Have you noticed? This is something I said would happen. Why? Because, money's not coming in now. You're going to have to do things you didn't do before. And had you done it in your career beforehand and talk like the sort of energy that Hunter's talking now in his career with, if you use that same energy when he was talking in the fights, it might have been more exciting with Michael Hunter because he can fight. Michael Hunter can fight. He just didn't want to talk. Now he's forced to talk. You see what I said? The beginning of the year with the lockdown, when we went into lockdown, I told you what was going to happen to these fighters. People leaving, contracts being, people's big names leaving. Are we not watching this now? Are we not watching this unfold? And there's more to come. There's more to come. See now, Canelo's gone. If Joshua, I tell you, there's a lot on Joshua's head. Because if he loses to Kubrat Pulev, Matchroom's in a state. Matchroom's in a complete state. I expect Terence Crawford to leave Top Rank and go to PBC. I expect it to happen. So I think maybe Terence Crawford himself has seen the light, like Floyd was talking about. He needs to do a Floyd and needs to leave Top Rank and expose them for what they are. Said it for the longest while. No, why leave? Why go to PBC? Shouldn't go to PBC. People don't think business. You just get emotional. Should have left for PBC long time ago, and then he could have been in the mix. If he really wanted all that smoke, as he keeps talking, he should have gone. He should have just crossed over the road. I said, thank you, Top Rank, for the mediocre fights and the poor promotion of my career. Thank you very much. Nice doing business with you. I'm going over to PBC now. So yeah, and as for Hercules calling out Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora, why are these guys going to fight Hercules? Hercules hasn't fought anybody. He's not got a name, right? All he's done is based on the amateur careers. And guys like Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora, Derek Chisora's fought far more better opposition. He just finished fighting against Usyk. Why is he going to fight Philip Hercules? Why would you fight Philip Hercules? Why is Dillian Whyte going to fight Hercules? These guys are far more progressed in their careers. Forget Philip Hercules. Let Hercules fight. Let Hercules go and fight Alan Babbage, or let Hercules go and fight Dave Allen. You know what I mean, let Hercules fight the loser of Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois. Yeah, that's a good fight. That's the sort of guys Hercules should be fighting. That's who Hercules should go and fight. So I don't know more about Hercules. Who else fought? LUIZ ORTIZ fought against Flores, and he knocked him out with his bicep. To be honest, I didn't even stay up to watch the card because it just was so. There was nothing in that. There was nobody on that card that I looked at and thought, yeah, I want to see them fight. Devin Haney, the young man, good performance against Gamboa, but Gamboa has been known to go down in fights, get dropped in fights, and get stopped. Somehow or the other, in this fight, Gamboa looked as if he had a cast iron chin. Gamboa looked like he had a chin transplant, and Haney hit him with a kitchen sink and couldn't move him. And I'm like, what's going on here? These guys, I just want to do less talking and just do more fighting. Fight regularly, right? Less talking, and let your performances call out opponents, right? Let your performances call out. Do you know what I mean? That performance against Gamboa did warrant him going and fighting Lopez. It didn't warrant that at all, because Lopez went and fought Lomachenko. His performance against Lomachenko, he could shout at the house that he could talk about. Even though I didn't think the performance was that great, I haven't looked at the video again, but you still give Lopez his credit. But I'm sorry, I'm not. When you're going around calling people out, it's pretty boring when you're fighting either substandard opposition, or you are fighting substandard opposition or guys you should beat, and you're going 12 rounds with them. That's not the platform that you go around and say, yeah, I'm ready to fight this man, that man, and the devil knows what. No, that's a performance where you need to go back home and ask yourself the question, you know what? That wasn't really a great performance. Yes, it was a shutout, but I meant me stopping this guy. I mean knocking this guy out. I didn't do that. I couldn't finish him off. Do you understand? And to me, that does not give you the right to be calling people out on substandard performances against substandard opposition. You understand? I'm not really it's not for me, sorry. That's what people are saying. Even Ingram, Terence Crawford can leave Top Rank, but he's got a very humble personality, like Hagler. He needs a really outgoing promoter to push him. I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that. I think that's all. Nah, I don't believe that at all. I don't believe he's a humble guy. I think he's a guy that really wants to fight. He's rugged, Crawford. knows his place in boxing, and you've given the right opponents. I believe you'll get the best out of Crawford. When you put him against these substandard opponents, you need guys who are going to get Crawford mad and get up his tail. Then you're going to get great fights with Crawford. And the fact that Haney couldn't finish Gamboa, who's 39, tells us that Haney isn't all who some say he is. Same thing with Davis versus Gamboa. I know a lot of force-fed fighters, people who you would really look at as contenders, that have become champions and have been force-fed. Do you understand? They're not quite ready yet. They haven't quite matured. And with it, you've got force-fed fighters running around calling themselves champions with a lot of testosterone. But I don't know. I'm not. Now, put it this way. Davis's performance against Leo Santa Cruz was sensational. Now, that performance there is when you need to go out and call another champion out. Because you flattened a Hall of Famer. Leo Santa Cruz without a shadow is going to be a Hall of Famer. Now, if you're going to call a man out, that knockout performance, then you call a man out. Povetkin, if you call that Tyson Fury for flattening Dillian Whyte, yeah, there you can call some man out. The way that, whether you think Fury cheated or not, the way Fury beat Wilder in the end result, that's where you call a man out. When Fury, when Wilder knocked out Ortiz with one shot and flattened him, that's when you call a man out. But you don't call a man out after you've gone 12 rounds, labouring around for 12 rounds is substandard. Sorry, not me. Shame how Bud has been blackballed by... No, he's not been blackballed. He's not blackballed, nothing. He's just at top rank. Once he leaves top rank, it'll be fine. I don't buy into that nonsense about being blackballed. Terence Crawford toppled Gamboa in his prime in 9 and did not emphatically when some people were comparing Gamboa to Mike Tyson and some thought he might lose. Yep, that's true. This shows Crawford is head and shoulders above both Haney and Davis. I'd say so. Crawford has the skills and the dog can tell in fights. He really punching with spite. Yeah, he's a spiteful fighter, very spiteful. So yeah, for those who didn't know, I've had my tooth taken out today. So if I sound a bit funny, I had my tooth whipped out. It took 5 minutes, but the tooth got whipped out. So yeah, yeah, I think who else fought? That's it. I didn't watch the boxing. I wasn't really interested. It didn't really do anything for me. I watched the replay. I didn't even watch the whole Haney 12 rounds. I watched the highlights, the zone highlights. That's how underwhelming it was. Hunter and Hercules are both low risk, high risk, low rewards. Guys be good if they fought each other, but Hercules needs to step up in competition now, regardless. He does. Like I said before, and I don't want to hear no more about Hercules because I'm sick and tired of hearing about Hercules, who's done nothing as a pro. Sorry. Hercules, the other one with a big head that everyone's calling a monster. These guys, they've done nothing. It's just because they're Eastern European, right? That's all it is. But they've done nothing. Absolutely nothing. Joe Joyce has fought better opposition than the pair of those guys, right? And he doesn't get the praise that Hercules and the other big-headed guy who's about 7 foot tall, who's ugly like a Valuev. Mamadou or whatever his name is. Yeah, they ain't fighting nobody. But they're getting praised like they're like the second coming of Ali. And I don't know why. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It doesn't do it for me. Canelo is a free agent. How's your Spanish, Ingram? ¿Qué pasa? Canelo needs a hype man. Does he? I'd like to see Canelo and Floyd work together, actually. I think Canelo and Floyd would work well together. Canelo and Floyd would be a great partnership. Canelo and Floyd, they've fought before. Why not Canelo and Floyd? All knockover fights. Ortiz was farcical. Yeah, that's it. Man like Arsalanbek. Yes, him. That's him. One with big head. He's dangerous. He's unbeatable. He's a monster. He looks like a monster. He ain't fought no one. It's just because he's Eastern European. and because of Lomachenko. That's it. Lomachenko, Golovkin, what's the other one? Usyk. Because it's from that same part of the woods, they're all jumping on him. But what has Hercules actually done? Now, I've said I like Hercules as a boxer. I think he's a good boxer. But he ain't done nothing to even talk about. He ain't done nothing. And Joe Joyce, I love it. Joe Joyce beat this guy in the amateurs, yeah? Beat him handily. Broke his spirit in the amateurs. I mean, beat him up in the amateurs. And nobody talks about Joyce. Joyce has fought much better opposition. So what's Hercules? What's Hercules' excuse? I don't hear nothing more about damn Hercules, man. Until he fights someone decent, I don't know more. Make me sick of it. I don't know more. Damn Hercules. Probably if Hercules loses, same folk will say he's trash. And I like Hercules. I like Hercules too. But I don't want to talk about it unless he fights something decent. DAZN pulled Booker out of the middle of his all-you-can-eat buffet. Probably. No, I don't think they pull him out in the middle. I think they pull him out as he finished the meal. Then they pull him into the ring. Yeah, and this is the biggest cheerleader of them all is this guy Ruben Gray. Yeah, Hercules style, nice jab and good right hand. Yeah, but you're Hercules. You love your Eastern European fighters, which is fine. But they just have to have an itch at the end of the name, or Vin, or ick at the end of the name, and they're the best thing since sliced bread. They don't have to fight a lick. They don't have to fight anybody. They can fight 100 deadbeats, but they're still good fighters. But that's how you know someone's a good fighter if they never had a fight. Booker looked like he got off the coach, didn't throw a punch at all. Yeah, exactly. He's a tank. Who's a tank? Booker. Canelo Floyd would be a good partnership, and he's far down the road of where Floyd would like a fighter to be that he's managing. He's got the skills, looks, the country behind him, promote his dream. So I think Floyd and him would work. If Floyd and him don't work together, I'd be very surprised. Because it was Floyd that was advising Canelo in the beginning. He advised Canelo in the beginning. Listen, DAZN do not know what they're doing about boxing. They have not got a clue about boxing. They're a bunch of clowns in DAZN. They've got a bunch of clowns in DAZN. I'm telling you, they've got clowns at DAZN. How you know they've got clowns? Why would you sign a 35-year-old Golovkin to a $300 million deal? Clowns. Hercules beat a whole bunch of old men and scrubs so far. Absolutely. So I don't know more about Hercules. Been talking Joyce early. Yeah? Yeah, you've been talking Joyce like you've been talking Hercules, mate. So let him try it. Different energy. Joyce has a better resume so far for sure. Hercules' best wins are Molina and Mansour, arguably. There you go. And what will Joyce have done to those guys? When it comes to a lot of these East Europeans, people are looking for the next Kovalev, but they don't realize how good Kovalev is. Yeah, Kovalev is good. Kovalev wasn't. I said to people, when I remember on this same channel when Kovalev came to England, yeah, and he was knocking everybody out, and people said, "Oh, Kovalev's going to get beat up by Nathan Cleverly." I said he'll stop Cleverly in 3 or 4 rounds. Have you ever seen a fighter getting taken back to the corner by the referee? My God, it was sick to see. George Michael, you're dead, aren't you? Hunter should get Parker fight. They both need. No, I don't want Hunter in there, Parker. Leave Parker alone, man. Leave Parker alone. Leave Parker alone. No, leave Parker alone. Parker fighting far. Floyd said after beating Canelo, "Tonight was just my night. That after me, this is the man." Those words came to pass there. Parker's fighting Junior Fire in December, new man. That's what I'm saying. You see, just you know what I mean. I'll tell you something right now. Right now, if things don't work out for Eddie Hearn in the future, He's going to put Matchroom on YouTube, and they'll be streaming fights through YouTube. Wait and see. But you all don't listen. You all don't listen. Do you know, when you want to talk about a great promoter, yeah, and a great stable, how many fighters has Matchroom got today that have got pay-per-view stars? Genuine pay-per-view stars. Not inflated egos. Genuine pay-per-view stars who are genuinely world-class fighters. Name them. Ingram. Hi, Ingram. As you know, DAZN are moving to the UK. We have believed that Eddie Hearn will move his stable to that network. So we have a proposition for you. Mate, you've always got a proposition, mate. You've always got a proposition. You can keep your propositions. Yeah, forgot about that. Parker needs to step up after Far. That's 3 tune-up fights. No, he doesn't. Parker doesn't need to step up. Parker needs to leave his trainer. And he needs to get himself a proper trainer. A Ronnie Shields, a Tommy Brooks, a James Ali Bashir. You know, I mean, a heavyweight trainer that can take him to the next level. I believe Parker could become heavyweight champion of the world. I'll even go as far as to say Parker could become undisputed champion. Good chin, good footwork, fast hands, good punch. He can even punch harder if you've got his dynamics right. I'd love to see Parker under Emmanuel Stewart. I'd love to see Parker in a Kronk gym. I'd love to see Parker, right, I'd love to see Parker be trained by Emmanuel Stewart to fight Anthony Joshua. I love Parker, man. I love him. Parker's still fighting. Thought that after the spider bite, he's radioactive and they don't want to send that radiation. I swear, Joseph Parker is some relation to Peter Parker. Hughie Fury fighting Marius Vac on AJ undercard. Also, Bacardi Kuzmin. Your thoughts on those 2 fights? Oh, my God. Oh, Lord. Listen, if you're Marius Vac and you fight Hughie Fury, just keep coming forward. Keep coming forward. Keep coming forward. Put a jab in his face and keep coming forward. Put pressure on Hughie. Underwhelming fights. I don't care for any of them, to be honest. I'd rather see Hughie Fury fight Martin Piccoli. That'd be a better fight to watch, to be honest. Let Vac, and I'll be the matchmaker for this. Let Vac fight Kuzmin and let Hughie Fury fight Piccoli. Better fight. Better results. BWTM presents Vlad Tsarenka versus Bermane Stalem for the WBC heavyweight title live on Sky Sports box office. Imagine that. You know, some people you know, when people are idle, you know, idle people, this is what you call an idle person, an absolute idle person. Now, why would you take your time to put that out? Why would you try to put your time to put that out? Huh? My only concern with Canelo is that this nagging knee injury. Hopefully his time off will reset that injury. Yeah. Could be the way he's training. It could be the way the dynamics and the explosiveness of the way he's training. He may have to look at the way he's training. He may have to jig the way he's training. If there's a lot of explosive stuff around the knees, he may be putting too much weight on the knees, which is causing the injury. So he might have to adjust the way he's training. And he's not getting younger, he's getting older. Hearn is now building Zhang up to, oh Lord, Zhang, big heavy Chinese heavyweight. He's apparently 37. They should put Hercules and Zhang on. Doubt it happens though. I think Zhang is being trained, if I'm right, by my old friend Harold the Shadow Knight. I think he was being trained by Harold the Shadow Knight or Tommy Brooks. Now, to be fair, right? I was actually impressed by Zhang's knockout. I was impressed by his knockout. For a big guy like that to step back and throw that counter was very sweet. I like that. Had the American look about it where he said to pull back, throw a shot and counter. That was very nice. I like that about him. Yeah, I think Zhang can make a run for the heavyweight division title. Just the WBA one. Nelson. Hearn wants AJ and Zhang in the bird's nest in China. What a joke. Oh dear. Exactly. You don't want to go into your later years of boxing with a knee, probably, and boxing depending on the legs. 100 million pay-per-view buys. Oh, God. Zhang has some skill. Great knockout. Was a good finish, but easy to hit. But I do like Zhang. That's what's going to make him interesting because he's easy to hit. But if you miscalculate with Zhang, he'll make you go easy to sleep. So, yeah. This thing's starting to wear off now. I had in DAZN China. What are DAZN doing? I mean, if you really look at it now, I don't know. They kept going about Zhang versus Chisora on commentary. Zhang versus Chisora. Looks like Derrick wants another fight soon, though. I still want to see Canelo versus Saunders, although Billy Joe Saunders had that 21-month layoff, so we don't know what he's going to look like. I think Canelo will kill Saunders now. Canelo will kill Saunders now. He'll kill him. He'll kill him. Do you know something? If you go back and look at Eubank Jr. versus Saunders, the fight, I think around the 8th or 9th round, Eubank hits him with an overhand right, and Saunders, right, is out on his feet. Look at the way he goes back to his corner. And that's Chris Eubank Jr. hitting Saunders on the chin. If Canelo catches Saunders on the chin, he's going to lay him out flat. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now. He's going to lay him out flat. I'm telling you. Dave Allen says he's fighting Zhang. Eubank beats Saunders. Great. Allen says a lot of things. I pay no attention to him anymore. I don't either. I thought Canelo versus Saunders was closer to a 50-50 fight when Saunders had him worked over Lemieux. No, because Lemieux can't box. Lemieux can punch, but he can never box. That close was closer than people make out. Billy just sort of schooled Eubank. Yeah, well, it's just people who don't like Eubank, innit? But that fight was lost because of Chris Eubank Sr. I'm telling you now, that fight was lost because of Chris Eubank Sr. What was Chris Eubank Sr. doing in that ring that night? Apart from being just being obnoxious. He ruined his son's real opportunity of becoming champion that night. If you look at what Chris Eubank Jr. Sr. was telling, the advice he was giving Chris Jr. was terrible advice. Terrible advice. And you had two experienced boxing trainers. Because Eubank, he may have been a world-class fighter, but he's not a boxing trainer. And there are things a boxing trainer will see that a boxer will never see. And Eubank was more impressed about, more thinking about standing in the middle of the ring and posing than he was actually really paying attention about his son. If he really cared for his son's career that much, he would have got himself out of the ring and, like any other father, be ringside watching what was going on. He wasn't a trainer. So what the hell was he doing in the ring? And why was that even allowed? I remember when Eubank Sr. stood halfway across the ring during the corner talk. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pointless. What was Chris Eubank Sr. doing that night? He was posing, just telling him make his own decisions and train himself. Eubank Jr. is not like Ali or Floyd. Well, Eubank Sr. ruined Eubank Jr.'s career. Because if Eubank Jr. had run Junior's career the way he ran his career, Junior would probably still be unbeaten today. And don't be surprised if Nigel Benn's son, Conor Benn, is the next to get beat. I love Conor Benn, but you don't go from fighting who he's been fighting to now fight a guy that Sean Porter couldn't stop. I don't know. It's not good. What's going on with Josh Kelly, everybody? Anyone seen where Josh Kelly is? Is he fighting somebody? Oh, God, Josh Kelly. Who else? Josh Warrington. Not good. Not good. Okay, just some very short news to go before I end today. The BWTM online app is coming out shortly. In fact, the app's already been designed. We're just looking to upload it. So that's something for you all to look out for. I think Junior missed his window into greatness. No, I don't. I don't think he's missed his opportunity. I think he'll get better. I think he'll get better as he gets older, Eubank Junior. I think he'll get better as he gets older. He's one of those fighters. I think he will. Really believe that. Josh Kelly was supposed to be the new Mayweather type with a complexion for the protection. Now, where is he? Yeah, my boy Ray Robertson. He exposed that nonsense. Right. He does have his firepower. Right, few announcements to make. 3 things. First of all, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe now. If you're listening to the video, subscribe now. Second, if you've subscribed already, make sure you've hit the bell on the subscription, because it says that people are subscribed but they're not hitting the notification bell. If you hit the notification bell, you get all the live shows. And the third thing is that we're going to be having a BWTM online app, which basically means you won't have to keep having to come to YouTube. You'll just have the app on your phone and everything will come directly to you on your phone. The app will be available on Apple or iPhone, and first it'll be available on Android. So I hope that you appreciate that. Do smash the like button in the videos as well, and make sure when you watch these videos you watch them to the end. If you watch them to the end of the video, it helps the channel, it helps the videos, and they rank a lot better as well. So by smashing the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Okay, so thank you all so much as always. Thank you for supporting the channel, and you'll see me over on FIFA 21. Take care.